Okay guys, thanks for coming back and joining me for video number 2. I was seriously just trying to remember my second date with this guy, but it's not really coming to me. It's not really coming to me. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. Yes, I think it is. There was a couple of dates, but I'm getting the order a little bit confused, but there is one important one. And then there's another important one. I think this all happened on the same day. Okay. So I want you to know that subsequently, after the first meetup, which was my first video, all of my dates with this guy were with his friend. His friend was on every freaking date, okay? And now I don't know if the friend was coming on my date or I was going on their date or what the frick was going on. Let's just get into it. So I can remember one day specifically when they were telling me to go to a stage show. Oh yes, they were telling me to go to some concert. I wasn't ready for it. I was like, am I gonna go with two guys and just get in a car and just go? And I said no. I remember that day specifically. That was our second date, because I remember saying drop me home, and they dropped me home and they both went. Okay. Then it came up again. I think it was that weekend. They were like, yeah, come go out with us to this concert. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't want to do that. I did end up going. Everything was good, but nothing significant happened on that date. Okay. So it might have been just before then or just after then. This is the date I want to point out to you because it's weird. I don't like sitting in the front seat because of something that happened in my past. So I was sitting in the back seat. The guy I was seeing, I'll just call him Henry. And Henry's friend's name is Brad. So Henry's the guy I'm interested in. Brad is his friend who's the driver. So Henry is sitting in the passenger seat and Brad is sitting in the driver's seat. Now I'm sitting in the back and we're all just kind of talking, but they're mostly talking because they know each other and apparently they work together and all this other stuff, right? And there's a moment where, and I told you, there was always this weird feeling of being the third wheel, even though it wasn't supposed to be like that. So I remember this moment when Henry said something to Brad, which I guess you would call an inside joke because I'm the one who doesn't understand, but it wasn't a joke. It was like a question. It was a question where Brad would have to answer Henry, but there was a lot of uncomfortable feelings for me and uncomfortable feelings for Brad and a very inquisitive type of energy coming from Henry. Yeah, it was an inside joke, but it came with a question. So Brad was supposed to answer, and I remember just feeling awkward and me sitting in the back seat looking at these two in front of me like, what the hell is going on here? Because if I didn't know any better, it looked, the way that people were making their faces and their body language, it looked to me like Henry was flirting with Brad. And it looked to me like Brad knew that Henry was flirting with him, but wasn't interested and didn't want to like disrespect or hurt. It was like he wanted to state his no or his negating of the question, but didn't want to. I don't know. He felt uncomfortable responding to that question, but he did do it, and it felt awkward and it looked awkward and it was awkward and it was like, so if I just say what I saw just energetically, Henry was flirting with Brad in front of me. Brad didn't like it because he's not into guys. It made me uncomfortable because then I had to question if this man was gay or bi, and I didn't know. So it was a very awkward moment. So again, I'm thinking, oh my God, I found this really gorgeous guy. Am I going to lose him now to another man? And then I'm like, oh, you're just being ridiculous. So I convinced myself I was being ridiculous. He was straight. He wasn't flirting. It was all fine. And I was just being ridiculous. Yeah, I convinced myself. And I just released it. But I will never forget that moment. I will never forget that moment. So there was that. I think it must have been the same day or the next day. We finally got some time alone because his friend had to go do something. So finally, Henry and I were alone. Like I said, I released that whole thing that happened and we were just hanging out. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then, I don't know. I just told myself I wasn't going to I wasn't going to try to kiss him because I didn't want him to have it over my head that I tried to kiss him. So I just released it and said, well, we'll just hang out. Maybe it'll happen some other time. And that was the same day that he kissed me. Okay. Those are the two things I just want to get out of the way. So this is all about my twin flame journey. This is all about me meeting my first, I'd say this is my ultimate false twin. My ultimate false twin. Okay, take this journey with me because there's twists, turns you don't see coming. And yeah, I went in search of love in a place that I didn't know very well and met this man. And I'm sharing the story with you, but this is a twin flame journey. So move on to video number 3. Thanks, guys. Bye.